We're here today at our centre in Choluteca in Honduras, just southeast of Tegucigalpa. When you're in places such as Central America, and especially here in Choluteca, it's extremely obvious how important horses are in people's livelihoods. One horse, for example, here will provide the sole income for a family of 4 or 5 people, and that horse, has to work, be it with lameness, be it with severe wounds, internal parasites. If this horse doesn't work, these families unfortunately aren't able to feed themselves and have to live a life of poverty.
Working horses usually start very early in the morning. At 4 a.m, the horse owner will take them out, usually without giving them a bath or food or water, and will start work. By 10 o'clock here in Choluteca, the temperature rises to over 35–40 degrees Celsius. There's very little access to water, and in many months of the year, the pasture and the grass has all dried up, providing nothing nutritious for the horse. They usually travel between 10 to 15 kilometers per day. Sometimes they are hired by the mayor or by other organizations for rubbish collecting, for recycling, or other programs. Many other horses have to go to the outskirts and collect firewood, which they then take into the market or directly to people's houses for sale.
Without the horses providing this service, many items would not actually make it into the centre and be available at market for the population to purchase. The horse also obviously provides an income for that family, and in many cases the horse is the sole provider of an income for a family of 4 or 5. So without the horse, that family would not be able to make a living. This programme has been developed with a very sort of long-term sustainable approach. I think it's really important that the whole community has been involved in the development of this programme from the very start. When the programme was being established, as I say, questionnaires were done with all the horse owners from around the area to find out exactly what the challenges were faced, not only by the horse but by that family. You can't focus on one without focusing on the other.
What we discovered from talking to horse owners in Choluteca is that there were very few service providers in the communities that were working with the horse owning population. The farriers that we met and that we spoke to described how they trimmed horses' hooves and also how they shod horses, and we discovered that they were not very skilled in farriery and they lacked information and basic education. With the harness and the saddlery element, we also discovered that there were 4 saddlery stores that were located in the centre of Choluteca, but none of them provided any kind of harness that was affordable or even appropriate for working horses here. We identified 6 local vets that work in Choluteca. However, none of these were working with the working horse population. After the research stage, we decided to design a community-based program here in Choluteca based on the needs of the working horses. We started to train a group of saddlers and a group of farriers, and also one person from each community that would train in basic horse knowledge and become the community advisor.
The community-based equine advisors, or consejeros as they're called in Spanish, are a group of people that live and work within the project communities. And their role really is to act as our representative in that community, supporting the working horses in those communities, and by extension the owners of those working horses, whilst reflecting the core values of World Horse Welfare. Firstly, they're there to provide education and training within their community, both to groups and to individuals. The second role for the consejeros is to provide direct support for the working horses, and that can be in the form of first aid or kind of convalescence care for those working horses. And then the third aspect of their role really is to be a point of contact within their communities between ourselves and the community, between other kind of partner organisations and their community, and also to be a point of contact between the service providers that we're training and their community. So we can think of them really as like the axle within a wheel. They are the centre of the equine welfare network that we're building within the Choluteca community.
Our community visits comprise of the CBAs, the farriers and the saddlers going out on monthly visits to the communities that we're working in. Here the different elements are able to offer their advice and services to the horse owners that otherwise would not have these services available to them.
So today we have the community visit. We come over to a specific community and we have the horses being assessed. At first we get them registered and then they go off to the CBs where they get all, their weight and their height and some type of information, and then we have them going to the farriers, the saddlers, and at the end they get checked by vet. The people react in a really positive way. They really enjoy seeing every time we come and visit, right? It's a big thing. They usually have all their families coming over, and at the end they leave the community visits with a little bit of more knowledge, of what they should be doing with their horses. So it's a positive thing.
When it comes to working with the community, we decided that it was really important that the future horse owners were able to understand and work with their horses better. Most children in Choluteca finish school when they're 11 or 12 years old, and after that they become horse cart drivers, and they are the ones that are primarily looking after their horses.
We got permission from the Department of Education in Honduras. The idea is to get more participation from the younger kids, since they are the ones that in their home take care of the horses as well. So if we educate them, they can do a better job. The pantomime is, in a fun way, telling a story about a horse named Mariposa. She has a lot of lesions, and she has not the proper nutrition, and she's dehydrated, and her hoofs are all bad. And then the CB gets in touch with the saddler and with the farrier and with the vet, and that's the way it works in the community visit. So it's just a fun way for the kids to know what to deal with it, and the CB is the person to call in case they need help, And they're so eager to learn, so it's just a fun way for them to help out at home as well. We demonstrate, and at the end we kind of do a little bit of assessment. So it's just, in a way, we're teaching the kids. It's practically a class, and we just hide it between a pantomime, and they keep thinking everything is fun, and it is, and at the end they learn. So at the end we ask them questions, and if they get it right, they get a little hoof pin, the World Horse Welfare pin. And everybody wants them, so they participate.
We're currently working with the local government and other institutions for the success of the program. We are going to create a local organisation which will be able to look for other partners, institutions, organisations from within Honduras or around the world that can help make this program sustainable. We hope that we're able to install values and new information and new skills into the communities, and our way of measuring that will be observation and watching how they treat their horses, and measuring their success by monthly visits with the vet that will weigh them and measure them and evaluate their wounds and injuries. Personally, I hope that the children that are learning from our program will really understand and start to have empathy for their horses. To create a connection between the horse and the owner is fundamental, and I think that is where the missing link is in this picture.